curating weekly entertainment brought to you by Extra Rad. Boys Meet Film will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.
Welcome to Boys Meet Film. My name's Michael, and these are my boys,
Matt and Sean.
And today we are talking about, I almost forgot the name of this movie, F1.
Nice.
So simple.
It's only two characters.
Two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's only two characters in this movie.
No,
I'm just kidding.
the title F and 1.
Yeah, I know.
Because I didn't know what to
And we
describe them
lost
as.
all 12 viewers.
Yeah. Starting off strong. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like we always do.
Really good right now.
So, Max, I'm just going to immediately kick this one over to you.
right.
This is your most anticipated movie of the year.
Was it
Right?
my most anticipated? It
was up there.
It was between that and Superman, I
It was
think.
one of my most anticipated movies. Of the
I
year.
know
Yeah.
you've been talking about it for a real long time, ever since you saw.
Very excited
the
about this.
You
teaser.
and I have been having conversations about F1.
We have been.
You've taught me a lot about F1.
Max is a huge car guy, and he like a car drives by and he'll like smell it and then like can name the car. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
He does
So-
that all the time.
yeah.
I have a bad obsession.
Yeah.
And it's primarily what I do for a living too. So
Yeah.
You do cars for a living?
yeah.
That's
So-
crazy.
It
Max-
gets oily.
Oh,
I
nice.
bet.
Slick. Yeah, it's so slick.
So let me ask you this. Did it live up to your expectations?
No,
Okay.
it did not.
And how does that make you feel? How are you feeling? right now?
I'm a little bummed out. I'm a little sad, you know. I'm not entirely sad, but
Mhm.
it's like the technical aspects of this film, the racing is insane, you know, just to
Mhm.
achieve what they achieved is incredible.
Mhm.
And I still have a ton of respect for that aspect of the movie. And I think that there are really strong scenes in terms of racing. But if you don't have story, you don't have anything.
Mhm.
And I think that there is a good story in here, and they just chose not to focus on it.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to make all of F1 really accessible to like a regular person, maybe
Mhm.
to you guys. And
The simpletons.
Yes. the
Yeah, to us
simple-minded-
common folk.
Yes.
To us not
Yes.
as advanced in car.
To the
exactly, yes.
vehicular peasants.
Oh.
Yeah.
The mobile commoners.
Yes.
There
Mobile
we are.
commoners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just like it seems F1 in general, racing has a ton of history, and then also the technical aspect of the sport is like you can get really nitty gritty. There's so
Mhm.
much data and teams and drivers and like all this stuff.
And tires.
And
That's
tires.
something they really focused on in the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
was tire
Goodyear.
play.
Yeah. So
Some tire action.
there's obviously like tons of strategy that goes
Mhm.
into pitting, as we see they use that in the film. So from a like technical standpoint, I think they did a good job of making F1 easy to understand
Mhm.
for people, and trying to show a majority of the different struggles, team principal struggles, pit struggles. They had a lot of racing struggles, and that's all cool. But
Mhm.
we need the human connection in order to make the racing exciting.
Yeah.
And that's been true for any film. And racing films have notoriously been bad at doing this.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody that is not in that world at all, I mean, honestly, like our conversations about it recently have made me like, oh, like it would be really fun to like catch up with this, world and like watch F1 races and stuff like that. So going into this movie, I had like a fascination with that technical side, and what I think is interesting is that was the only interesting part to me in this, which
100%
is something that usually, like, I mean, that says a lot about the story, I think, because other than the technical like tension that there is too, just like the racing itself, everything else fell so flat.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Very archetypical. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like
We'll go with that.
yeah. And obviously, I don't want to go into specifics yet, but really incredible what they were able to accomplish shooting it in these like they shot it on like real races. Not obviously the driving, they were doing that outside of an official race, but like to get the production value of a race, they were on grid with the real drivers and like all that stuff. And
That was really cool.
Really cool.
Like from what I know about F1, I've seen like all of the drivers. So like seeing the actual F1 drivers who have like had real life accomplishments in this film.
Oh yeah.
It did add like a level of realism that I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like
exactly.
those guys, it's cool that they don't have any words because they might ruin it because they're clearly not actors because they spent their entire lives driving.
Yeah.
But that's like that presence of like real F1 like stars, I guess. It's just cool that they're
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's their competition too. You know? But the downside to that is you don't get any character moments with them because they're just like, ooh, I got a good parallel. I want to hold on to it.
Okay.
But
like you think, oh yeah, I can't spoil.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but I got a good parallel. I got it.
Yeah, we'll circle back
But
down the road.
But yeah, but that was nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's take this thing from reverse and put it into first gear. Let's start moving forward, huh?
Yeah, what do you say we take this podcast from last place and just weave all our way into first?
Yeah. Well, Michael, I'm curious. This is a really like this film in terms of educating somebody on F1 at a ground level did a pretty good job of like setting up some of the main challenges that an F1 team faces.
Aerodynamics, tires.
Yeah. You can't go too crazy, I feel like, off the bat.
No.
But you get to see some like FIA stepping in to like, all right, I guess that's not really a spoiler, but you get to see some normal F1 struggles and challenges that a team would face. Yeah. And are you more interested into like the real world of F1?
Yeah. I mean, I think like something that maybe this movie can do more than just watching a race is like take you deeper inside that, like in the perspective of like someone from the pit crew or an investor or something like that. Even if the characters might have fallen flat, like the actual just like the business side, and stuff like that. Like politics. It's interesting. Yeah. Because I think every industry has politics. Every industry has something that keeps that tension, because if you didn't have that struggle, then the art would be too easy too, And I mean, that's something that I think like, I felt watching this movie is like these drivers are artists, and like the pit crew, the people making the cars, like,
they're legit spaceships.
Yeah. And I mean, like the risks that, what was Brad Pitt's character's name?
Sonny Hayes.
Is it so sunny? Is it hazy?
That's a line.
Horrible.
One of the bad lines.
Yeah.
It's like, nobody knows what your name is. Which one is it? Pick one. Sorry.
Just like all the risks that he took, like it was kind of funny and cool and like interesting to think about,
When we get into spoilers, I have so many things I can talk about. Just so unrealistic, but like fun, And overall, insane production value, insane shots, really cool editing in the racing. There was some moments that I was really curious about. Like, things are happening so fast in F1 races, and when you're just documenting a race, you don't get a chance to kind of like analyze a scene of a car or like a specific corner or an interaction between like overtake or something like that. And so that was what I was most curious about in the filmmaking aspect of it. Is like, how are you going to show all these parts and have it come across effectively and keep the speed and momentum of these cars up too.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to see them like make those choices, and that got me excited about some of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I want to rag on it because story is like my thing.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
bad.
like when I watch a movie, like that is the thing I care about the most. But I think there's an aspect of this film that I was going into looking for more of the technical side.
Yeah.
So I was fulfilled, and I mean, this isn't a spoiler, but like, I feel like the last third of the movie is where it truly shines.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
That's where I was the most invested, and I kept like thinking to myself, I was like, this is like worth enduring, you know.
Yeah, some of the eye roll moments.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
I had fun towards the end, and I enjoyed the ending.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not the like actual last scene. I think
Right,
it
yeah,
was
sure.
really fucking dumb, but yeah, it was like, it's a fine movie. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this movie does, because I definitely think it's one of it's like the biggest bet that Apple has done recently. They spent $200 million on it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And this, I think, is this is the first theatrical release for them since Killers of the Flower Moon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Which was also a big bet, you know.
Killers of the Flower Moon was Apple?
Yeah.
Pushing
3.5
it?
hour movie. Also, I think like $250 million or something like that, which I think it did well. But this one, like, it doesn't have the Oscar catapult for it, you know.
It doesn't have
Joseph Krasinski, like, you know, obviously got Top Gun nominated for an Oscar, but like, I don't see this movie getting that traction at all.
No. Yeah, unfortunately.
But it'll be
Despite
interesting.
How similar it is.
Yeah. I know that I think Apple and F1 have like a new partnership too,
Oh, that would make sense.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
potentially.
So this is like catapulting that
is
as
Apple
well.
trying to make F1 more popular? Is that
Potentially,
Well,
like
Netflix succeeded with
it's
that
already
for America.
really popular now. So
Yeah.
Well, I meant like
yeah.
more to America, because I know it's there is some lacking of awareness of F1 within
Definitely.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know about F1 until like 2 days ago.
Right.
Until I got my ticket.
And maybe, you know, we need a producer to fact check us on like a lot of the stuff that we're saying. But my speculation is that, and I mean, I have heard this just from other podcasters, but like, this movie is huge for Apple. And if it tanks, they're fucked, you know?
Well,
As far as,
they're not fucked.
but like,
They'll be okay.
For their
they'll
media
just sell a
strategy,
couple
though.
more phones.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Because you know, they don't put out movies in the theaters very often,
Right.
and so this one kind of will forecast what they're going to be doing in the future. If it tanks this weekend, people don't see it, then they're probably just going to stick to TV shows.
Our theater was pretty packed for a Thursday
night. But did you guys notice that we were like the only people reacting to anything?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a moment towards the end, a Brad Pitt line that I wasn't gonna laugh at because I felt like I had been laughing the whole movie.
Yeah.
I had a few giggles too, for sure.
And I like wasn't gonna laugh, and then I heard people laugh at the line, and I was like, all right, people are.
It was like at the very end.
Yeah. But
Because-
then there was some genuine laughs too from some of the jokes
Really?
that got some people. Yeah.
Because
I was
like I don't know, maybe just my hering's bad now or something.
It is.
But yeah.
It
probably
is bad.
It probably
You got
is.
shot
Yeah.
ears.
I just like, I feel like I didn't see anybody reacting the whole time. Even things that I thought were like kind of funny and like might have chuckled at, I felt like we were the only ones consistently like reacting.
We're
to
always
anything.
the only ones reacting.
I
to
know.
that.
We have the biggest reactions out of
But I'm
every
telling you-
screening of every movie we go to.
I'm not talking
we just
about
love
like
movies.
I'm not talking about ironic like reactions to
Yeah,
moments.
yeah.
I'm talking about like genuine what the movie is trying to do for the audience, right? I did not feel like our audience connected.
For me, I heard like 4 genuine laughs at jokes that were made from some people that were around us.
And don't you think that the fact that you can count how many reactions there are is a bad indicator?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, no, 100%.
yeah.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like yeah.
Unfortunately, that is.
But they also, it didn't seem like they were trying in this movie for comedy, like at all.
No.
I mean,
they had like and that's what's there's a lot of bummers.
It's like
they
a
had
Hallmark
some good
comedy.
They had some good. They had a couple good ones.
Sure.
yeah.
Like okay, Javier Bardem is awesome in whatever he does.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
so
him.
good.
Yeah, he's cool.
He had some amazing acting moments in this film.
Yeah.
That won't do anything for him, unfortunately. But
yeah.
But he brought it. But yeah, they share a little moment on a couch.
Mm.
And I really liked that.
I like that too.
I thought that was awesome.
That nervous moment.
Yeah, right before a big thing, you know, little nervous thing like that. That felt really real to me, especially for guys.
Yeah,
you know, like just like
I was just two.
Well, and that was
two
like
guys
right
nervous
before
about
the
something.
first like race, right? Which like you feel
like
that
a lot
tension.
was counting on that.
Yeah,
moment.
and it's like something to kind of cut that tension because like you can relate to it.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Which there were genuinely like fine moments there.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I don't know though. I think I was thinking like we were gonna get a little more out of this movie.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
I was bummed.
I think for me, like the thing that like really stuck out to me, like the coolest thing, and it's one of those things where I'm like, how the fuck did they do this? Is the POV shots in the car.
Oh, so awesome.
That are like shaky.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you rig that? How do you do that inside of like the tiniest little car coffin ever?
Yeah,
it's awesome. That
Like,
stuff looks so good.
They got some crazy cool shots in here.
The immersion during the racing is really well done, I think.
Yeah. I want to bring up before we get into some of our normal segments, I want to bring up 2 of the things that I absolutely hated about this movie.
Yeah, go for it.
I hate when directors make a movie that's really successful and then the next movie they make is like the exact same like outline, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun, old man goes into young man's territory, takes over. There's tension, but eventually they get along and they work together as a team.
Yep.
Same exact story in this movie.
It's exactly the same.
It like if you broke down the structure of both movies, like down to the love interest, down to like the moments of like the all is lost moments, you know, it is the exact same movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so much worse.
If those jets had tires instead of plane wings,
Yeah.
it would be the same movie.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they were in the air.
Yeah.
If there were more cars in the air, there were a few in this.
Couple cars that
flew.
Yeah.
Couple guys that flew.
F1 cars
too.
are upside down airplanes, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing
Downward
I
force.
hate is and I don't know if I'm getting older, so I'm just noticing this in movies. And I mean, like, I've noticed this before, but like, it's getting exhausting at this point, is when a woman character in a movie's sole function is to be the woman for a man in the movie. And I mean, it could be a guy, it could be whatever relationship, but the relationship in this movie, you don't get like you know immediately where it's going.
Yeah.
You know, the first shot of this woman seeing Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hair flip.
it like cuts to her like giving the eyes, and it cuts back to his feet.
Yeah,
which
he's
I thought was funny. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
does she got a foot fetish? That would be a cool turn in this movie.
He's just tying his shoe. And
he's
she's
tying his
fucking-
shoe, but it's like a shot of just the shoes, and it cuts right back to her, and she's like still eyeballing, like, oh,
It was the sock that she was paying attention
Oh,
to,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
she wears the sock later.
Yeah.
or she has a foot fetish.
I
I'm
think
just
she has
saying.
a
It's
foot fetish.
that one. Yeah.
She
Don't
has a
listen
foot
to
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying, we could. It could be that. It could be what I said.
It's the foot fetish.
Yeah. It's just so exhausting though. Like
it is. Yeah.
because you know immediately where it's going to go, so there's no tension with it at all.
None.
And it
And
just takes time out
There
of the story.
should have been more tension because of their positions. He's a
Yeah.
driver, and she's like on the fucking race control thing.
She's
Yeah.
an engineer
Yeah.
of speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like there should have been more like we
It-
can't be together kind of thing.
Anytime
going on.
you have sex with your coworker, you never come out that clean.
No.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's just so unrealistic.
True.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
And he knows from experience.
yeah.
No, I don't have sex.
Clip it.
That was sick.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Get out of here.
Sorry, guys. Trying to hold back the tears.
Of course.
Yeah. No, that really pisses me off because the story is so bad already. And it's just like, if you took that out of the equation, like, just give them some tension, you know, maybe like their roles, you
Yeah.
know, they like clash a little bit
Yeah.
or something. And then maybe there's some little steamy there,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe that works out. But also, like, why does every single movie, it doesn't matter what movie it is, it can be a racing movie, it can be a movie about a spy, it can be like anything, a firefighter, there always has to be a love interest. And that goes for like any movie too. Like, you know, I don't know. It's getting exhausting.
I mean, sometimes it's done well.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of really
Yes.
done well.
sure.
Love
yeah.
interests.
I'm speaking
in so many
very
movies.
generally right now,
Yeah.
which isn't fair.
Extremely.
Why can't
the way,
I find love?
I know the way he's saying. He's like, I've been single for so long. What are these fucking movies keep shoving love down my throats?
It's unrealistic.
People don't. Not everyone finds love around here. All right.
Yeah.
No,
I've seen a ton of perfectly happy people who have not found the right person.
no, it's just boring. It's just boring. Like, I want to, like
It's
you
boring
said.
because they made it boring.
No, exactly. Like, what I want to see what you said. Like, some tension between them.
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah.
You
that
know?
shouldn't have happened.
Like-
That
Like-
relationship shouldn't happen
It didn't feel like there was a real spark. I mean,
ever.
like it was like nothing, and then they did it, and then she says, "I shouldn't have had the tequila."
Yeah.
that was
that
a
was-
good line from
that
her.
was- I
that
did
made
like-
me genuinely laugh.
Yeah.
That made me
it was
laugh
funny.
too. That was
Shouldn't have
memorable.
had the tequila.
Oh yeah.
I should have left the tequila in the
Gotta put the
taxi.
accent behind it. Yeah, the taxi. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my rant. But
I got one more thing to add.
okay.
Of the three things. So this is a third thing to add that I hated.
Mhm.
I hate when people explain what just happened.
Yep.
Why do you keep doing it?
Yep.
Yeah. What was really
He's
funny?
flying. It's a spoiler. Not really.
I don't care.
Yeah. I don't
Are we
care.
getting
We're
into
past it. No, we should get into spoilers.
Yeah. Well, okay. Before we
Oh
do
yeah,
that,
wait. You have new things, right?
yeah.
Yeah, let's
There's
go.
some things to go through.
All right.
So I'm gonna do this one specifically to you, Max, since
Okay.
you know you're the racing guy. Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
You got F1,
Uh-huh.
Rush,
Uh-huh.
Cars.
That's so easy.
Okay,
All right, here we go.
break it down for us.
Here we go.
Break it down for us.
All right. Kill F1
Okay,
right off the bat.
right off the bat, kill
Against
F1.
those two films, it's just not there's just not a thing.
You
know?
put it
Yeah.
up to some heavy hitters.
I think I would fuck Rush
Okay,
and marry Cars.
You're marrying a kids film, dude? No, I'm just kidding.
That's better than the.
No, because
you got. Yeah, there's no.
yeah,
good.
looks like I did the right choice there.
Okay, so that one was definitely too easy. So let me give you a new one.
Sure.
Rush,
Okay.
Cars, Talladega Nights.
Okay, a little bit harder.
That's personally one of my favorite racing films.
Yes,
What would
that
you do to
Talladega
it?
Nights.
that movie is so good.
What?
What would you do to it?
Yeah, you go.
Oh, I just give it a big old smooch.
Nice.
Probably that
No,
movie.
So you'd kiss it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that one of the options?
It is now.
Okay, cool.
For you specifically.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And
So
then
Sean would smooch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Are we
only-
just choosing random things that we would do? To
No,
the
no,
movie?
no. You have to play by the rules. But
I would,
because he asked you specifically. If you rewinded the tape, he only
Yeah.
asked you on this.
All right. This one is hard. Because
Who are you gonna kill?
I love. Yeah, I know that's
Rush,
the only
Cars, Talladega Nights. Kill one right now. You have
All right.
3 seconds.
one. I'll kill Talladega Nights.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. For racing movies.
So are you still gonna marry Cars, or are you gonna fuck it now?
No, I'll still marry Cars.
Just the
yeah.
same answer.
Yeah, I'll still marry
So
Cars.
this
yeah.
one wasn't that hard at all.
yeah. Well,
This one's like super hard. I'm just gonna kill the new option that you gave me.
well, yeah. I mean, like,
I'm just kidding.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah, no. It's
Yeah.
coming from a place of truth,
Yes. Yeah.
and I think we got down to the bottom of it.
That's where we're at.
You would marry a kids film, and you'd like to fuck Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth's in it, so
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
And it's retro.
it's so retro.
Has a swagger to it.
Yeah. You haven't seen Rush.
I haven't.
We should watch it.
I've seen the trailer.
Oh, that's good.
and
Yeah.
I would like to watch it.
It's a great film.
I've heard good things.
That's a good racing
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. Not a lot of good racing movies.
Actually, that's a good point. Because we were kind of talking about your favorite
Mm-hmm.
racing movies before this. When you were getting into that, it made me realize that I think I've only seen like 4 racing movies in my life.
Yeah.
There's Speed Racer,
Mhm.
Cars, if they all like count together.
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Ford versus Ferrari, and then this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen another racing movie.
Aside from Talladega Nights.
Okay, yeah, true. Okay, so 5. But I don't know why, but it's like one of those, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like, why are they making so many of these things? And then you like look at it, and I'm realizing they don't make a lot of them.
There's not a ton
Yeah.
of racing movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just looked it up before, and it's like you named the majority of them.
Yeah.
Just now.
I would say my favorite out of all of those that we just mentioned is Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
With
That's
my
a good one.
limited
Easy.
knowledge of other ones,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Didn't they make a Cars 2, a Cars 3, and
Mm-hmm.
Cars 4?
Just to Cars 2 and 3.
Okay, they didn't get to 5.
Cars 3 is pretty good.
Okay.
Cars 2 is like they just
I
decided
heard
to
it's
make
a spy
It's a
movie.
spy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cars 3 is like a racing movie.
Okay.
Cars 5, they go to space.
Oh,
Yeah.
in a
I'm
Ferrari.
still waiting for Cars 5.
That's cool.
Okay, so we're kind of going away from who is this movie for.
Okay.
Can you watch this movie by yourself? Is this a movie that you would watch again by yourself?
Maybe a while from now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean I would watch it to analyze scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff that I'd like to revisit because they're like the car sequences. There's certain moments that I really enjoyed that I would like to analyze for filmmaking purposes.
Okay.
The way they were cut together, the type of shots they were using to like kind of tell a story.
Yeah.
There was some great sequences where you get like a pedal box shot, then you get like a tire locking up, and then you get like an eye line down an apex, and then like you see the front of the car with the apex, and then you see the overtake. Like there was some really well stitched together like racing moments.
Those racing scenes were sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
There was,
I
like-
thought were like masterfully put together that I would
Very
like to
cool.
study.
Yeah.
And then make a real story and make a good film.
For you as a common man, Sean,
As a commoner,
would you watch this movie by yourself?
I don't think I would watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, in the back of my head, there's like 30 other movies that I would
Yeah.
prefer to watch over
Absolutely.
this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really glad I watched it.
That's good.
Yeah, thought it was cool.
Would you guys watch this with your girlfriends?
I don't think she'd be interested.
No,
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never
Say
watch
no.
this with.
No.
No.
With a woman.
No,
With a woman.
I actually
Because you get way too excited when you see Brad Pitt on screen. It's just
Exactly.
like,
yeah. I don't want.
and she gets confused on why you're hard as a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want her to feel any competition with
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
I watched Rush with Amanda,
Uh
and she loved that movie.
huh. Okay, that's a pretty good indicator.
And that's another thing where I feel like they were trying to appease a lot of people here
Yeah.
and make it accessible. And I think they didn't do a very good job.
No, I mean, I
Um,
think when that's your mission, like your sole mission, because I mean, they put so much money behind it that
Yeah.
it makes sense that that's what they're seeking to do. But when you do that, I think you force everybody who could enjoy this movie out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for like the most basic, simple-minded people
Right.
that just like, you know, that final kiss in the movie.
Yeah, they
There's
need it.
Fucking yeah.
They need it to happen.
Would you guys watch this with your parents?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, like you could watch it with your parents, you know, like it's like not like inappropriate or anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I think it would bore the hell out of them. Out of mine, at least.
I think my parents would be fine watching it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just because I've seen it already.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah. yeah, I feel you.
I will for like technical reasons, but like,
Yeah.
I don't want to just sit through it again.
Last question. Would you watch this with the boys? Again.
Not again.
And by boys, like it can you have other friends, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Will and Naveed want to see it with you.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to go see it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's standard, but that's because I have Regal
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would bring a notepad and I would really, really analyze.
This is a spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned.
I think the moment that stood out to me the most was the moment with the least amount of sound.
Yeah.
When he's flying.
Well, and they set that up really well earlier.
did.
And they ruined it in the
Yeah,
middle of that
they
scene.
did ruin it.
He's flying.
God.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's
Just a-
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, basically.
Like, why
That would have been a better line.
Why set it
It
up
would've.
if you're just going to tell me when it's happening?
Yeah, like
It's
we
like,
know,
oh, it's a beautiful
we
moment.
know it's happening.
It's a beautiful moment. And you're like, oh, yeah, you set it up well.
Which is like-
I was waiting for that moment. I was like, when they set that up, I was wondering how they were going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing
Yeah.
for me. Like that's what you want. You're like, oh, how are they going to get to that? How are they going to pay that off?
Yeah.
And it sounds cool. He explains it. They have a very similar scene in Ford versus Ferrari where he's with his son
Yeah.
and he's talking about the wide view.
Yeah.
And that's actually that score, that piece of music is called Wide View. And I listen to it often. It's like really serene. And he's just talking about how like everything fades away. And instead of tunnel vision, you like have this full like, you know, expanse.
Yeah.
And like it's very peaceful and it's calm, but you're going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I love that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, sick. They're doing that same kind of thing with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just freaking
They
blow
ruined
it. They
You think-
take you out of it.
You think it'd be better if it was a
keep 'em in.
different line that like didn't say it directly?
no lines.
No, hear me out. What if
Go for it.
he's like, son of a gun, there's a bird on the track.
Somebody
Because he's
call
flying,
animal
you know.
control.
Somebody call it. There it is. That's the one.
Okay.
Somebody call
Somebody
animal
call
control.
animal
There's
control.
a goddamn hawk on this track.
There's a fucking eagle.
Would that
a
have
bald
made
eagle
me?
soaring through.
Are we watching Talladega Nights?
Yeah,
Because if that's in Talladega Nights, I'm in.
yeah, true.
If it's this super serene moment that Brad
was
Pitt has been
built up,
chasing for his whole life,
Like
and
a
this is his
dream.
last.
Yeah.
We're,
His very
we're
last
spoiling
chance.
all this. Like,
it's fine.
No, we're in spoilers now, right?
Yeah, we basically are. Let's get into spoilers. Yeah.
We're bad at this.
What do you guys want to spoil?
Well, we spoiled a lot just now.
I don't care.
The whole end of the film.
I really don't think that even matters that much.
No, it doesn't.
Because they ruined it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've set up this amazing moment.
Yeah.
And where his character, Sonny Hayes, has been chasing this serene moment where he feels like he's flying. And he describes it as like completely quiet and peaceful.
Yeah.
And then they just cut to his love interest, his forced love interest. What's he doing? He's flying.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we know. We set it up earlier. I want to get into some of the Top Gun comparisons because this movie is literally just Top Gun.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it. It's been a while since I've seen Top Gun, so you've definitely seen it.
I've seen it like
more than
20,000 times.
Yeah.
And also, our buddy Kyle talked to us about Top Gun Maverick, and he said that it's a really soft film.
Yeah.
At the time when I had first seen it, I was upset with Kyle and him saying that it was a soft film. I've seen it a lot now. It's a pretty soft movie.
I mean, they play volleyball on the beach, lathered.
Yeah.
Shirtless.
Lathered.
Hell yeah.
That scene's awesome. But the writing
Max,
overall...
He might have seen the movie 20 times, but he's seen that scene about 50.
I've watched that
That
scene so many times.
He's not soft when he sees that scene.
Nobody's soft when they're seeing that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like one of the I've rewatched it a few times, and it's like, yeah, it's just the writing's a little soft, and I think one of the reasons it is because there's like the enemy is kind of like unnamed.
Yep.
You know, it's just like it's a country that
The bad one.
Yeah, it's the bad country.
Yep.
You know, and like that does take an edge away from the movie.
Yep.
A ton.
You don't get to know the enemy.
Yeah, you know, and that's the same thing here in F1. We know all of the other drivers, but because we're not going to see them act with, you know, the only rivalry is the team itself.
Yeah.
And then their whole goal is to just work together. So once they get to the final race and they're working together, then they're up against nobody.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen and you know, and
That
Lewis
guy's pretty
Hamilton, you know, who we all know as real racing drivers.
Yeah.
But like, there's no banter. There was no like setup that like they are like, you know, the thing. And internally, like if you really study F1, that's exciting to you. Like for me, it's like, oh my God, this like really low team is going against Max Verstappen. They would obviously never have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, but like it could happen. He could get knocked out. So like that's really exciting. I think one thing that when I was first getting into F1 is how excited teams are to get to 10th place, which is where you get points for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was like weird to me because people are like teams are like fully celebrating as if they won and they just got into 10. You know, but like that's a huge accomplishment for that team, and they have so much money on the line and all this stuff. And so, you know, like
So when they did do that, and Sonny Hayes' character saw the guy celebrating, he's like, "Why are you smiling? We got work to do."
Right? Yeah. Well, that was when they both got taken out, and they didn't. They DNF'd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the other team were still racing.
That was
yeah.
That was that moment.
But like. It's just, you know, you get.
Well, there were two moments.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. I do think that what in theory they're trying to do is something that works in other movies where you focus less on an external enemy, right? And you focus on the enemy that is yourself, how you self-sabotage and how you affect the ones that are close to you, right? Like that you're supposed to be on a team with.
Right.
But when you do that, you brought up the point that the big moment where, like, you know, in Top Gun, right, you're against the fucking enemy, right?
Right.
Or in this movie, you know, a racer like that you're racing, you lose all of that tension.
Yeah.
And it just falls flat because you know that, okay, like the main conflict that we were trying to solve this whole time is their relationship as like teammates, right?
Yep.
And it's solved now.
Yep.
So now the ending doesn't really matter.
No.
Because no matter how it goes, they could lose and then they could have a kumbaya moment and suck each other's dicks, you know, and the movie's over and we're all happy.
Well, if they did lose, then the team would have got sold.
Yeah, sure. But
like
would we care?
Most basic plot for everything ever.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
lose the shop.
We're gonna lose the shop.
We need our best driver.
Dude, this is literally the plot to Hot Rod. We need to raise $50,000 for a thing in order for the thing to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, and like another thing that's frustrating about that is there's another plot point that they bring up that's way more interesting than all of this stuff that would negate you needing to have an enemy. And that's Sonny's internal battle. Sonny was in a really horrible F1 wreck in his past, and he was racing with like a lot of these great racers in the 90s, early 2000s, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, that was
Ayrton
cool.
Senna, like all these huge names, Schumacher, you know, that were racing in that era, and then he's coming back now.
And like he was like, oh, and I was gonna be a big name like them, but he got taken out, and that was really cool how that got all tied in.
And
like
then
that.
in the third act, he gets into an accident, and then you just now find out that like he's like one bad wreck away from losing his vision and being paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like, well, now that's huge stakes.
yeah, and
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
like there's so many things to do with that now.
and the
Yeah.
thing they did with it that makes no sense is that, you know, he's holding that information from Javier Bardem, right? Which makes sense for his character. But give the audience more information. Give us the bomb under the table where we know, like, this is something that could really destroy this film's story. Or, like, not like in that way, but like his story, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
something
yeah.
that could ruin him.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that the movie opens up on the old school racing in that yellow car, his yellow car that he crashed in, and it's really cool. It's cutting between that and Waze, which was like kind of a cool contrastiness.
Yeah.
But they could have set it up right there in the very beginning.
Yeah.
They had that opportunity. They were already doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have been a cool element.
That would have been an
for sure.
awesome tension moment throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
And then something that he has to overcome or make a really difficult decision later on. Or there's so many, like that's such a, there's the interesting story.
Yeah.
And, you know, like another thing too that I thought was crazy was his teammates wreck where he was on fire.
Yeah.
Like that was a cool moment.
Yep.
Not realistic for Brad to get out of his car and go run to him, but like I still
was
think
gonna
that's
say,
cool.
Also the moment where he's like, "Give me the the fire
Yeah, it's like,
hydrant."
and the fire
Like-
marshal's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do my fucking job. All I
had to
have
throw
to
it
do
over the
is
tires.
jump over this barrier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was so
like
dumb.
took more time to. Yeah,
That
it didn't do
was-
anything either. Yeah,
Besides the end of the movie, that was the only moment in the film like there was some emotion for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But then it felt very short lived.
Yep.
Like very
and then they like he
His
just
hands
burns his
got
hands a little
burnt.
bit,
Yeah.
and they made that so lame. Like they made
Yeah.
it so lame.
Well, and I mean, honestly, I'm glad that you and I had talked a lot before this movie, because I never like really thought about the fact that like their suits that they're wearing, right, would be like somewhat fire retardant.
They have a time limit, basically. Yeah,
Got it.
Before it gets real bad.
Like it makes sense to a degree, but also like the fire he was in, like, do you think that was realistic? Like coming back from that in that way?
No, I mean it's way more like exaggerated.
It was a nice, fun, giant explosion.
Yeah. I mean, that guy was cooking.
There was
that guy was cooking in there.
But his fire retardant suit, it was like a baked potato in tinfoil. You know?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
If it was left in too long, you would have got burnt.
Yeah.
There was
he mushy.
He was all mushy on the inside because he was just the right amount.
Put a little sour cream and cheese on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Some green onions.
God,
cheese.
Already said
Shredded.
that. Double cheese. You're crazy.
You're crazy, man.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's not super realistic.
Yeah,
but I expect that kind of stuff in a film.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want that,
Yeah.
And that's like, every time there was a moment of any kind of tension, I was like, yes, like bring it on.
Make me
Like,
feel.
yeah, make me feel something. And
Yeah.
I think this movie was really dry.
Yeah,
and
it's too
soft.
scared.
It was so soft.
Yeah, it's scared of itself,
Yeah.
of its potential.
Because there is a really cool story in here.
I agree.
That would be an incredible feat if somebody.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. They wouldn't be able to drive a new F1 car, but like, it's cool. Like, and it's a movie, so you can make it fantastical.
The vibe that I get too, because then there's a whole other aspect of this film with, I forget the character's name because I'm so bad, but his counterpart on the team.
I forgot his name too.
Swan.
We'll call him Swan.
Yeah.
It's something he was called at one point.
Yes.
He, is addicted to his own ego. Pearson?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a great point.
He's addicted to his own ego, right? He lives like kind of like a. It's not represented this way very well at all, but like what you could say is like a sleazy lifestyle outside of the racing, right?
Going
Just
to
like
clubs,
clubbing, like
partying,
focused on, yourself, no matter like he, in that scene, like just like lost terribly. And then he's,
image focused.
In front of the camera, just putting on a show, putting on a smile.
And that was the second moment Brad said.
Yeah. I think that what I noticed with that is they were too scared to actually like really portray that.
Yeah.
Because the portrayal of that in this movie feels upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's something that's supposed to be negative and like a negative characteristic, the movie always feels upbeat.
Yeah.
And I can't quite describe that. It feels like a Hallmark thing.
You didn't see
where it's like you can't make people feel too bad.
Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which then, like, in order for somebody to be a redeemable character and for you to want to root for them, you have to see them at a rock bottom.
Yeah.
And like his rock bottom was that his hands got a little burnt.
Hold on, now there's a even more funny rock bottom when
Okay.
he's in the club. A girl comes up to him and is like, "Can you introduce me to Carlos Sainz?" And that's so funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I'll go get him." Like
Yeah,
he's just
I'll go
gonna
get him.
I
leave.
think I'm gonna leave. I think I'm done with this club stuff now.
It's the
I
club
retired.
moment. Yeah, I was like,
I'm gonna take life
vibes
seriously now.
It's
You know what?
insane.
Tomorrow morning, we're going running.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
I gotta get to bed. My running shoes are ready to go.
Yeah, I think you described it perfectly. This is an F1 Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
just
with,
like
with
it's-
some of the most technically cool shots I've ever seen.
It's trying to always
shot very well.
It's trying to always feel like upbeat in some way. is
Yeah,
how I
like
felt.
there was this really emotional transition scene from like it was like dialogue to the race, and then they cut like 3 cuts to this DJ lady who's just kind of shaking it.
Yeah.
Oh my
up
god,
top.
I know
And
that
I'm like,
sucked.
Why are they cutting to her? This could be such a nice, emotional,
Tense.
strong point to
Yeah.
like bring something in and make you feel
Absolutely.
something like.
And I think
That's
I've
a great
shown
point.
you some scenes from Drive to Survive, like the way they cut the race and like intro the race. I think I've shown you some stuff.
Oh yeah, yes.
Where like they set up like I think we watched one full episode to give you like full context on something. But like
Yeah.
there's so much tension in that show based off of like like they do a great job of setting up the dynamics of the characters and all the rivalries, and then they're like, all right, now we're going to race.
Uh-huh.
And you get this great like moment of like, okay, all of these characters' wants and needs, now they're against each other.
Yeah.
And they're all conflicting because they all want to win.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so much of that like
Uh-huh.
in that show that there's so many cool stories in racing that they just like
Yeah.
Instead, they just played
Hallmark.
blackjack for a long time.
Oh my god. Dude, I forgot about
You
that.
forgot about
scene.
the blackjack scene?
That scene was
And during
horrible.
that scene, I kept thinking, I was like, man, we're going to talk about this scene. I'm so glad you brought that. What a dumb fucking scene. That is like maybe the dumbest scene I've seen this year.
I know you hated it.
Dude.
It was bad.
It was so funny. Them staging the cards to have just like the perfect thing to put down each time. I don't know. There was a
And like obviously he didn't have
Yeah.
or obviously he
it
had
was
the
so
winning
obvious,
hand.
immediately
And-
obvious.
yeah,
like
yeah.
the way he
Yeah.
like didn't show like, oh, this is what I had immediately. I knew. I'm like, okay, cool. He had
And-
the winning one. He's gonna let him win it, and then he's gonna.
Yeah, and the guy's like just doesn't check the cards at all.
Uh-huh. He didn't say,
Just
I
one
want
of
you to
those,
have.
Like, I won.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was dumb.
Yeah. Does that play into his ego though from earlier?
Yep. The thing, yeah, no, it does.
So poor.
Trying to
It
be
does.
redundant-
And that was like
redeeming it?
right before his rock bottom,
man.
where the
Oh,
you know
yeah.
girl,
Oh, yeah. The club.
Can you introduce me to Carlos Sainz?
The
I'm
thing
done with
that I
blackjack. Time to go to the
hated-
club.
Yeah.
The thing that I hated about that blackjack or poker scene is the fact that like there's dialogue in there, and it's not great dialogue, but it's enough for me to just be like, okay, like let's see what's happening with these characters now, right? But then they just like intercut it with these like quick montage moments of them just like having really fun playing poker
Oh, I
with each
know.
other, you know?
Bad.
It's just like, can we just move on?
There was the end moment that was pretty darn funny for me when so there wasn't like a whole like a lot of like, oh, these two are gonna smash moments,
Oh.
but they're like at the very end she's like, I'm not gonna even talk to you because you lost to a pair of fives, and then he flips it over, he has 2 kings, and then they look at each other, they just start making out.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
good.
in
Smash
a hotel
cut.
smash
Yeah.
cut, they're making out
Yeah.
hard because he got a winning hand.
The line was like, I'm not attracted to losers, or
Yeah.
I'm attracted to winning, or
Yeah.
something like
I'm
that.
attracted to winning, and you lost to
and
2
you
fives.
just lost to 2-5. Sex. Yeah. And like the funniest type of editing that you can do for that too, where like they like show the hotel that they're staying at, and then they do like crossfades of them like
Oh my
making
God.
out
Yeah, yeah.
on top of the hotel.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
You can't teach the stuff.
This movie gives me one of the worst feelings that I have
Mm-hmm.
when watching movies with you guys.
Yeah.
Is like when there's something you really like. I love racing. I
Yeah.
love Formula One. I love like just motorsports in general. And like, not that like I'm taking you guys with me to go see this, but like a part of it is like, yeah, I want to see like you
Yeah.
guys to experience
Yeah.
the culture and like maybe get some more insight into this. And then it's just like the worst representation of
Just
that.
flops.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this isn't really like, it could be better though. Like,
Yeah.
like I hope you guys see that racing could be cool.
No.
Yeah, I know.
They ruined it.
I know.
They ruined
Like,
it.
oh my
I'll never care.
F1 ruined all racing movies for, yeah.
Yeah.
I want you guys to watch Rush.
No, I do want to watch Rush. That sounds like a good time.
It's so cinematic, really cool character moments that actually drive the story forward.
So
In a really fun, and it's a biopic too. So it is based off of true events.
that's another thing that I thought was really interesting. And this was an off podcast moment, but when we were driving home, you were talking about Rush and you were saying that the reason you liked it is because it focused on character entirely.
Yeah.
With, the loss of some of those technical things that F1 obviously focused on so much.
Yeah.
I think that's just something really interesting to look at because, and I think that's why I really want to watch Rush is like as somebody that's not in the whole racing scene,
Right.
That's not catching up with it. Like, can I get the same feeling of like, oh, like I kind of know what's happening? I mean, now that I've seen F1, like I do feel like it gave me a good representation of tires, aerodynamics,
Yeah.
all that.
They don't even really touch on any of that stuff.
Yeah.
In Rush, like.
But
it's
do you
not-
need it? Do you need
No,
it to care?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's so many interesting stories that like the whole his whole backstory and then the consequences of him racing and potentially getting injured
Mhm.
is the fascinating story about this that they should have been focusing on.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to get the world up to speed on Formula One,
Mm-hmm.
but F1 paid a lot of money for this movie.
Sure.
They had a huge hand in this. So
Yeah.
another motivation for that is like getting people on board with like a ground level understanding of F1. And then if we watch a race,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, oh yeah, the team is doing this with the tires. They have to go through all the compounds,
Yeah.
medium, soft,
Soft,
hard.
medium, hard.
Yeah. And,
Yep.
and like
That's me
pit
every
strategy
day.
and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Peaks and valleys, man.
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys. Soft and medium, then hard than medium. No, I think that's really interesting though, because it's filmmakers, right?
Mhm.
Like something that we think about when we're writing something is, does this reflect what we're portraying accurately to who might care about this, right? So
Yeah.
in this scenario, it's racing,
Mhm.
but does that actually matter? Does that matter against character? Because
I think from no, it doesn't matter. But because of the money put in by the people who
F1,
are paying
yeah.
for it, the money talks.
yeah,
And
sure.
the money's going to influence the story a lot.
But I'm just saying strictly like because you are the audience member for this.
I know, yeah.
They're the
target demo.
person that entity cares about the most, So did it matter that they had all that technical stuff? And I think the answer is no. Like
If they were able to weave a more interesting character story
Yeah.
while retaining that info,
yeah,
I think there's time in this film to do that.
sure.
I think the scenes that we saw with Pierce
Mm-hmm.
and the scenes we saw with Sonny could easily be elevated
Yeah,
and in the same amount of time. And then the scenes where it's technically heavy can be there still.
yeah.
And then you get the technical aspect and then two really good stories that are in there as well.
Yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, like let's say this movie didn't have a lot of that technical stuff, but it had a great character,
It would have been way better.
Would you be as mad right now? Would you be talking,
No.
would you be pissed that the movie didn't have that technical element?
No, I'd be stoked because
Yeah.
I would have been, story is most important.
And
You got those
I think
character
that's something that's good for us to
Yeah.
like think about,
Absolutely.
and hopefully, some filmmakers are listening to this somehow. Maybe it's not on YouTube. Maybe they're secretly listening to it and we just don't see their view,
We got to do it,
Um,
man. We got to
but-
do it once. Let's make it happen.
I think it's like really obvious, and I mean, this solidifies it for me because you are literally the demographic for this movie.
Yeah.
That story is the most important thing.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
The other thing too that I just thought about, like I'm going all over the place, but I think one of the biggest detriments to this movie was the soundtrack. Because I think, like, I don't think the songs are bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the music, it's not like my preferred, like,
Sure.
music that I'd listen
The
to.
Travis Scott song slapped.
That was
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
That was cool.
That was cool.
But I
Nice,
think
yeah.
the music is what gives this movie the whole Hallmark vibe.
Yeah.
Like, because all of the music is upbeat. You know, there's score moments that are like, you know, your
Which
classic
Hans Zimmer did.
score. Hans Zimmer did the score?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That's another
Interesting.
thing that's like,
Wow.
wait.
Interesting.
It felt like he phoned it in on this.
A little bit.
It was
I
like
mean,
a stock score. Like he has a bunch
Yeah.
of scores that he could just send.
I got to get
Yeah.
back
Send
to working on Dune 3. I can't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't, I'll
Yeah.
do F1, but I'll
He
spend
wasn't
like
like
a couple hours on
experimenting
it.
with like carbon fiber parts and like
Oh,
banging
yeah.
them together, you know, like
Yeah.
on titanium to like, you know, like it didn't have that like art house vibe, you know?
Yeah, the moment that you know, I noticed the score and I thought it was pretty good was during the flying sequence.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was the strongest part. Other than that, I didn't notice the score at all.
Yeah.
The soundtrack sucked. As far like it didn't
Didn't aid the story
aid it.
because there was no story to aid.
No. But also, I don't know, like you take some of those moments, you know, and maybe edit them a little differently too. With different music that like actually cares about what's going on, because the feeling that you get too with a soundtrack like this is like you don't need to take this scene seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
You
like
know?
a lack of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Just like-
yeah, there's a lack of
This
weight
is just
overall.
a scene to put, you know, a Bad Bunny song under
Yeah,
now. Which I don't know if he's even on the
No,
soundtrack
yeah.
or not.
Tay
but
McRae was on there.
I would bet money that Bad Bunny's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, we just had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was way too many needle drops to even be able to
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
Isn't that dumb? Like there's too many needle drops nowadays.
Yeah.
Transformers, when that Linkin Park needle drop song, you know, happens at the all is lost moment,
Yeah.
you know, you remember that Linkin Park song.
Yeah.
It's the only one in the movie.
Also at the end
Oh,
when he gets
yeah.
to make out with Megan Fox.
Yeah, on the Camaro.
Yeah.
So sick.
Come on, dude.
Dude,
When I saw
and
that
Optimus
as a kid,
Prime is watching.
Yeah, Optimus Prime is watching, just monologuing by himself.
Optimus
Just
Prime's
talking
like,
to space.
that's cool. On a
Yeah.
car? That's
Yeah.
right where I like it.
I might be a robot, but I think I'm starting to feel things.
Yeah. This is a Hallmark racing movie.
Yeah, it really is. It's unfortunate.
Damn it.
It also felt like a MTV like teen show at some points.
During Pierce's
Yeah,
moments.
Yeah.
during all of his moments.
Man,
Yeah,
such
him
a
just
bummer.
like in the gym. He's just like in the gym all the time. doing
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
little
working on his neck.
exercises. Which,
I like the neck workouts.
yeah, the
Those are
neck
cool.
workout was great. I thought it was really interesting seeing Brad working out and like some of the workouts he did just like on his bed,
yeah.
just like leaning.
Yeah,
his,
that was
like,
cool,
whole
yeah.
head on
That
there.
was cool.
It was really
that
interesting.
was fun seeing the dynamic of Pierce using all the new technology hooked up to all the things running, and then he looks outside, and then Brad Pitt's just running old
Yeah.
school. He's
Yeah,
old
yeah.
school guy.
Yeah.
That was some fun stuff, and the
There's a-
dynamic with that.
There's a cool movie within this,
Sure.
and it just gotta.
I don't think they got it.
They just gotta come out.
I think that I predict, this is what I predict. I think people are going to eat this movie up. I think even the critics, they're going to look past a lot of the blatant just like bullshit that
Yeah.
we recognized because that just seems to be the pattern these days.
Are we too snobby now?
I think.
Can we not enjoy just garbage?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think this is garbage.
It's not. It's not.
It's just like it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not something that's memorable. And I think for me, like as a movie lover, like I'm always chasing the dragon, trying to find that moment. Like for me, was La La Land. Like watching that for the first time was like, holy shit, a movie can do this.
You're chasing your flying moment.
Yeah. That's my flying moment.
Yeah.
That's when my view is
Your
clear.
wide view. Yeah.
You're wide.
Yeah, my wide view.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You just want to try to get wide again, man.
I just want to get wide again. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Getting so wide.
I'm just
over
so tight now.
Yeah.
Just so tight.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we could fix that. It would be gay if I just said me.
That's all right.
There was one shot I really liked a lot of Javier Bardem after the when he's walking back all stoked and there's just fireworks in the background.
Awesome.
And I'm like, that was just such a visually satisfying of like seeing his joy with those really cool fireworks and the energy of what was going on.
How much of their
that was one of, that shot I thought was just like so cool.
Yeah.
How much of their $200 million budget do you think was on fireworks?
Well, they shot it at Abu Dhabi at the race, and that's what they do at the race. So they just had to show up
That's kind of
and
cool.
film it.
Earlier on, when there was like racing and fireworks scene, and the fireworks went onto the track,
at
that
Daytona?
was sick.
At Daytona,
I thought that was really cool.
See, and
Yeah,
that's
the
a
Daytona
cool
scene was cool.
yeah,
That's a really cool like theatrical addition to a film where like me as a racing fan, it probably wouldn't happen, but like that's cool.
That was
It adds
cool.
texture.
I
It's
know,
like,
I liked it.
Interesting too, because that reminded me of Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
sequence.
because
It
like
was
the cars
like,
were sparking from the
Yeah.
skid pans, and the fireworks were blasting onto the track, and it was just like
that opening Daytona sequence,
That was
that
cool.
night scene is really cool. I'd like to watch that scene a few
really
times.
well lit for a night
Yeah,
scene, like
yeah.
the track and all the lights of the cars, and
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
And a lot of momentum too. Just like when I say that, it's like there's transition shots between cars, and like when a car passes, or when you cut to like interior, exterior, interior detail shots, like keeping momentum through that is pretty tough to do.
Yeah.
I've filmed a lot of cars, and it is really hard to like connect a scene like that. So that's what I was like most fascinated about. It's like, how do you connect all these different elements and keep the momentum of the film going?
Yeah.
And they did that really well in those scenes.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the like locked off shot of the panel showing like, oh, this is V1 panel, and oh, this is combat panel.
Yeah,
and,
that was cool.
And like
yeah.
like showing that during the race in the action.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a
Absolutely.
really cool element, showing the changes and
Yeah,
stuff.
I liked that too.
Also, the amount of times he destroyed something on the car, isn't it like, please enlighten me on this, isn't it like hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
per
per
part, like a front
wing is
wing?
like $200,000 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
God.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, every time I'm like, that's like another $200,000, right? Like, and he smashed the car.
Oh, yeah.
like
I was going to bring this up
10 times in the movie.
I was going to bring this up in the beginning. Like no knowledge of Formula One and how hard it is to get into it, and like all this stuff. Like Formula One, there's only 20 drivers. It's like the most prestigious racing in the world, like all this stuff.
You're the best in the world if you win this.
Yeah. But like legitimately,
Javier Bardem quote.
legitimately. And his first practice, his audition,
Yeah.
he completely wrecks the car and then gets out of it and starts talking like it's a start, like he has any grounds to stand on. Like he just destroyed a $150 million car or whatever, and he still has the job. Like you wouldn't have the job.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
It's like when you get the job that you lied on your resume for,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
delete like a client, like thousands of files or
Yeah.
something, and then
Yeah.
you're like, what's next?
Absolutely.
yeah.
There's just way too much money on the line
Yeah.
for that to ever happen.
Yeah.
Like
That was
accidentally
ridiculous.
destroying the building that you're going to get a job for.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That
Well-
would work at like a lower end NASCAR, like series. Like you could like get a really good lap and then like still wreck the car and then maybe get in.
Yeah.
At like a grassroots. At Formula One, you're not wrecking the car and then they're like, and then getting out and being like, here's what you need to fix. It's a good start. The car's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, well, you
her
just destroyed it.
You see her perk up though. The lady engineer is like,
yeah.
"Oh, what's wrong with it? This it's a little wonky in the steering. The left pivot's got a few axles diffed out.
Yeah, yeah. And I had to shut her
The
down.
axles were diffed, dude. You could tell right
You gotta
off
dip
the bat.
those axles, and that thing's turbo boosted. Remember coming out of the corners, you gotta make sure you don't hit the gas too hard.
Maybe if
Yeah.
you mega wax the turbo boosters, you could maybe reflux the
Mega wax.
capacitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying all the right words.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, redivot the spin knobs.
She was like, finally
Redivot
some
my spin
feedback.
This guy's telling me everything I need to know to fix this car into perfect tip-top shape.
Yeah.
And he has a 6-pack.
And he's like super dang hot.
All right. Well, I want to end on a more hopeful note and be excited for the rest of the year because we're kind of at the halfway mark of the year.
I'm
in
like,
film.
this made me nervous about Superman, dude.
Yeah,
I'm nervous about Superman.
I'm not gonna lie. The Superman trailer, the new one, there's something about it that I was just like, oh,
Mhm.
this might be bad.
It could be bad.
This might be kind of bad.
But it could be super.
I mean, we're
I'm
gonna watch
staying
it.
hopeful.
We're gonna watch it.
I
and
closed
we're
my
gonna
eyes during
review
the
it.
trailer. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
are.
going to spoil it.
Yeah, I F1, although it wasn't on my official like most anticipated movies, it was a movie I was very much anticipating.
Yeah.
And it was a huge letdown.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot of movies that I'm very excited for
Yeah.
coming up.
Absolutely.
We have Eddington coming out.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm excited for that one.
The Bugonia trailer just came out today.
Yeah, very cool.
Like, come on.
So awesome.
We
What else
get-
we got?
Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited for that one. Frankenstein is my favorite book of all time.
Awesome.
And this one looks pretty book accurate,
Awesome.
judging from the trailer.
That's cool.
Zootopia 2.
Zootopia 2,
Naturally.
of course.
One Battle After Another.
Yes.
Paul Thomas Anderson and
Oh,
Leo.
Yeah,
And
dude.
oh my god, why can't I think of his name? Benicio del Toro.
yes.
Like, yeah, come on, guys.
That's a good
Yeah.
combo.
Come on.
I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
in
me
the
too.
superhero
Yeah.
world. I think it looks fun.
I'm excited for
looks
it.
I
pretty
definitely
cool.
am.
Looks like a nice.
I'm
a
excited
good
to see
take.
Zaddy in that movie,
Yeah.
Daddy
you are.
Pascal.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
who's also going to
Mr.
be
Stretch.
in Eddington.
Yes.
Weapons looks awesome. Another Zach Kreger movie who did Barbarian.
Yeah. The
Yes.
Naked Gun, the Liam Neeson.
I've never seen the first Naked
What?
Gun.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Have you?
No.
And you're excited for it? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it looks hilarious. I saw the
He's
trailer.
never seen Airplane. You haven't seen Airplane?
No.
This guy hasn't seen Airplane.
You haven't
What
seen it
the
either.
hell?
I know. I got to see it.
What the hell?
Oh, a movie that I'm interested to see is the Running Man movie, directed by Edgar Wright. He's the one that did Baby Driver.
Yeah.
I know Edgar
Hot
Wright.
Fuzz. It has
Love Hot Fuzz.
Glenn Powell
Me too.
as the
Ooh,
lead.
Okay. All right. Sounds fun.
Should be interesting. What else is coming out? Freakier Friday. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have some good stuff.
I'm
to look
interested
forward
in
to.
Tron.
Yeah. Oh, Marty Supreme. How could I forget about Marty Supreme?
Oh, I'm really excited for that one.
Little
That's
Timmy
the
Chalamet.
Ping pong.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Safdie brothers.
Yep.
What's the other one? The other
The Smashing Machine.
Smashing Machine.
Oh, the Smashing Machine.
Smashing
I'm excited.
Machine
When
looks
does that come
good.
out?
That comes out this year.
There's a lot of
probably later in the year.
anticipated films. I mean,
There's
films.
lots to look forward to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
What would you guys say? Quickly off the dome. What are your top 3 of the year so far,
Of the year so far.
and that have come out this year? Not that we've seen. this year.
Yeah. I got you. Definitely The Surfer.
The Surfer. That's on
Friendship.
my top 3.
Friendship.
Friendship
big
is
time.
on. Okay.
And
We got- What we got? The
I really
Substance.
liked Companion. I was a big fan of Companion.
Companion is almost on mine.
Yeah. It's lower. Warfare was definitely the most like emotional, visceral reaction I've had to a film so far.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really liking the conversation around that movie right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, bringing up the fact that it's like one of the most well done movies of the year so far.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think my top 3 is definitely The Surfer, Warfare, and then 28 Years Later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we still
We gotta see that.
Yeah, you guys need to watch it. It's really bummed you guys didn't watch
I
that
know.
last week.
I know.
Ugh.
I also want to see Days
Schedules.
and Weeks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
You
trilogy.
should. Yeah, you should definitely watch
All the
Days.
above.
You can totally skip weeks, dude.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't need to see
Skip
weeks
weeks?
at all. It's not that it's bad, but
From
it's just
days
like
to years.
you have you have a girlfriend, right? That you need to spend time with. Just skip weeks, dude. Just skip
Days
weeks.
Days is like a piece of film history.
Yeah,
This is one of the first digital cameras
That's
used
cool.
for
When did it come
like
out?
a feature film.
2002, I think.
Cool.
Cillian Murphy's in it.
Yeah,
The story is awesome. The editing is strange in a good way.
yeah.
It's good.
All right.
And
It's a-
28 Years Later does not stray away from that.
That's awesome.
Really weird experimental editing. Obviously, the camera choice of having an iPhone is experimental in its own.
Yeah.
And they pull it off, and it was awesome. Yeah, pretty good year so far. Like, I don't think
I'm stoked.
we haven't hit like a movie yet. I would say The Surfer is maybe like the only movie that I'm like, this is perfect. This is like insanely
Yeah.
good. I'm taking so much out of this movie.
Yeah.
I think Warfare's close. It's just not a movie that I want to revisit a lot, you know?
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
In the-
The
like, in a good
Surfer
way.
is like one of those movies that I can add to the catalog now.
Yeah.
Of like, this is a rewatch. This is going to get in the rotation.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, tonight was fun, at least,
I had an excellent time in the theater.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like going into it, I had that like hopeful, don't know what's going to happen. What are they going to take this, or how are they going to pull it off? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
And that's always
How's
exciting.
Brad gonna pit?
How's
Yeah.
Brad going to pit?
Yeah.
How's Brad going to box?
Oh,
Because that's the
Mm,
thing for Pitt in
yeah. Oh,
Formula One.
that was good.
Box this lap.
yeah.
It means
Brad
Pitt.
Box.
And he's Pitt. Yeah, he's Pitt.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Get
a great
pitted,
note
dude.
to end on.
I think we've done
Brad
it.
Box.
Yeah, Brad Box.
Well, if you're still listening, thank you. And if you're still listening and you haven't subscribed or liked this video, then like, what the hell are you doing? Come on, become one of us. Join us.
Hang out with the boys.
And if you don't want to do that, follow us on Instagram at Boys Meet Film. You can follow me on Letterboxd at mschnee. You can follow this guy on Letterboxd at
Maximus Newhan.